Hello, beautiful people, and this is Zyla Marie Johnson coming at you with another video. Please like, share, and subscribe. That'll be delightful if you do so. Now, today I'm feeling very chatty, and because I'm feeling very chatty, I'm making another recording today to add to a off-sync slideshow again. So today's conversation, it's gonna be centered around anti-vaxxers. Now, today it won't really be a very well-spoken, a very well thought out, a very contributing video to a conversation or to spark a conversation or to implement a conversation. It's more a rant. This is gonna be a rant because I'm gonna say it like this to say right now. If you're an anti-vax, I cannot miss. Anti-vaxxers. I will not ever be friends with them. I will never agree with them. I will never associate with them. And I honestly think anti-vax people are evil. Now listen, I'm not talking about those who cannot vax their children. I'm talking about those who voluntarily choose to not vax their children when they are fully capable of vaccinating their kids. Vaccinate your kids. Vaccinate your kids. Now, why am I so heated about this? There are so many cases of kids getting sick, kids dying from diseases that are preventable. You are voluntarily preventing, you're diminishing your child's health because of your personal beliefs that are backed up with nothing but pseudoscience. Why do you not vax your kids? Oh, because vaccinations cause autism. You are born with autism. Vaccinations cannot give you genetic mutations. That is not how vaccinations work. Vaccinations cannot genetically. Vaccinations are old versions of diseases so your body can know how to fight against them so you won't get. This is like the flu shot. Vaccinations are like stronger flu shots. Your kid will not die from a vax. Your kid will die from rabies, from measles, from the bubonic plague. Your kid is most likely to die from the disease that you refuse to vaccinate for them from the vaccine itself. When will that get through your head? Like, this is not specifically targeted towards an anti-vaxxer, but if you are anti-vax, period. This is just period. This is just facts. Like, even though I'm not well versed in the medical community or not well versed on vaccines itself, I'm not going to sit up here and tell you not to vax your baby, not to vax your kid. I'm not going to sit up here and tell you your kid has a chance of autism if you give him a vaccine. So let's just risk him getting polio. Excuse me? Excuse me. I usually, like, when I hear that argument all the time, I just get either really confused or really heated. And right now, I'm heated. It's just like, you'd rather have your kid die of polio, suffer with polio, than them being autistic? And them being autistic, really, didn't they prove multiple times that that was fake? That has no correlation? Autism is a spectrum. He could be like on the savant, like on the savant line of autism. Like, why are you pressed? Why are you pressed? I don't understand. Like, essential oils and home remedies can do anything. That's what they had back in the in the 14th century. And guess what? Everyone still died, Sheila. Everyone still died. They prayed to their Jesus. They drank their essential oils, and they ate and they chewed on their mint. They ate their herbs, and they never washed their lobsters before they ate them. And guess what? They still died. Because why? They weren't vaccinated. They weren't sanitary. And you tell me that in the 21st century, we are technologically advanced enough to make sure your kid doesn't die or doesn't suffer for what a president had in the 40s, 40s. I'm not well versed in U.S. history either. Don't ask me on that about that. But yeah, like what are you thinking? Like what are you thinking? Why people that also don't use medicine but also rely on religion? What has religion done for you physically instead of spiritually? Nothing. Like, and I'm sorry for all my religious people. Prayer has done nothing for you physically but except spiritually. What does prayer do for you? Prayer do for you to tell you and motivate you to get out of bed so you can go to Walgreens and you can get your cough medicine for your kid. Not so you can pray to cough out your kid and your kid catches influenza. Like, do you not see how this goes? Do you take, if people just remove themselves from the situation and look down the path of this leads to this and this leads to that, now how do I prevent that from happening? It will all be fine. If you take yourself back from the situation, this is like, I believe that vaccinations can cause autism. Take a step back from that. Just say, how do vaccines work? Now, vaccines work like this. Some way. Because I'm not 100% sure either. But I'm pretty sure it's correct. Correct me if I'm wrong. So, you have a kid. A kid gets a certain shot at a certain age to make sure their body be able to fight it off so they won't catch an infection, right? So say you're getting your let's say tetanus. Let's say you're getting a tetanus shot at freaking 13, if that's the right age. Now you're sitting in the office, they give you your tetanus shot. Your body's fighting off tetanus for like a week or hours or whatever. You're exposed to something that could give you tetanus. You don't catch tetanus. Wow. Let's take an unvaccinated kid. The kid doesn't get vaccines. The mom says, I believe vaccines cause autism. Don't do that to my kid. 2 weeks later, he's exposed to something that can give him tetanus. He catches tetanus and you're like, oh my God, how did this happen? You know how this happened. You're reactive instead of preventative. You're reactive instead of proactive. Why are you have such a reactive mindset to where you decide to pray away an illness instead of preventing an illness? You decide to not vaccinate your kids because you believe it will cause an illness when you are giving your child an illness in its place. Like, you are throwing such a curveball to where you are not self-aware of the harm you're causing to your own kids because you have failed this thing known as self-awareness. You are not self-aware that you yourself are causing the demise and death of the kid, and you're here blaming it on a medical condition that you could have prevented. I think anti-vaxxers should be like called abusers. I think anti-vaxxers are abusers because you're forcing your beliefs on your kid, that your kids are not old enough to be able to decide whether or not they should agree with you. You're forcing your beliefs on your kid, and you're risking the potential of your kid's health for your beliefs. You not medicating your kid because you believe in prayer, you're potentially harming your kid. I feel like that's abuse. Now, those who are not able to vaccinate their kids and those who are not able to be vaccinated, you are the exception. If you're not able to, or if you don't have the means to, which is I don't know how, but if you are unable in any sort of way to get like a vaccination or to give a vaccination, this is not for you. And I feel bad for those who are not able to get vaccinations. I feel bad for kids who are not able to be protected from these diseases because you got stupid, selfish people like that do not take anyone for consideration. This world does not revolve around you. This world does not revolve around your beliefs. Your kid is not your property. Your kid is under your care. That's one thing they fail to understand. Your kid is not your property. Your kid is not something to project your ideals. Your kid is not something to project your dreams on. You do not project on your kid. You care for your kids so they're old enough to make their own decisions. That's the reason of you having a child. It's for you to bring something into this world. And what you brought into this world, you do not project of how you felt, because that's not how life works. another life form is not your puppet, whether you like it or not. That's just not how it works. And you forcibly not vaccinating your kid is projecting yourself and your ideals onto your kid without them being self-aware and actualizing of what's going on. Your kid doesn't know they could die from polio for 2 years if they don't get the vaccination. Your kid doesn't know they're going to catch the measles or the mumps or something like extreme, like the Black Death. Your kid won't know that they'll die from the Black Death after 4 years of them not being vaccinated for it. Why? Because your mama was too ignorant to vaccinate you when you had the opportunity to protect yourself, because your mama is a self-entitled, selfish woman who does not know about the vaccines, and your mama clearly does not care for those who cannot get a vaccine because they really have no self-awareness that the world does not revolve around them and that others do not have the opportunities that their kid does. Imagine living in a world this big but being so selfish. I can't relate. Imagine being selfish enough to where you sacrifice your kid's life because your beliefs. Can't imagine. And yeah, I mean every word. I want all smoke. I mean every word. Every single breath, every single word, every single syllable that came out of my mouth. I mean it. If you don't like it, unsubscribe. If you don't like it, report. But in fact, if you don't like it, make a video about it and put some ads in it, make some coin. Because I know your dumb ass gonna need some money. I know your dumb ass has money since you don't vaccinate your goddamn kids. I'm out. Goodbye.